give you information that's going to help you become a better person. Today's quote for the week tied directly to a lesson that we had in 8th grade humanities, Joshua, because it talked about a person who thought more about their community than themselves. And that's what this week's quote is about being generous. One of the things that we learned in the story of Maya Angelou about her grandmother is that her grandmother embodied the idea of service and sacrifice for her community. We learned from that story that the black people of Stamps, Arkansas didn't have a whole lot. They recognized that white folks had everything, had all the nice clothes, the car, refrigerator, and everything, and black folks had just enough to get by. But even in that context, black folks still shared with each other. And they had this discussion that for a black person to exhibit charity was a tremendous sacrifice, but they did it anyway. Even though they had just enough for their family, if their neighbor needed something, they would share that too. For those a little older, we may recall times when our neighbors would come to our house and ask for some sugar or some flour and things like that, and we shared a lot. And the notion of sharing is not because you have a lot to give, it's because you have very little to give. Does that make sense? The person that has great wealth, for them to share means absolutely nothing. The person that has very little and shares means a whole lot because it's a great sacrifice in that. Do you understand that? Yes or no? So the story of Maya Angelou's grandmother is one where during the Great Depression, which as Chloe said was a time period when all of America was suffering economically, people didn't have jobs, didn't have any money. There was wealth provided to various people, and Grandma Henderson figured out a way to keep her store open during this great time period. And how did she do that, Joshua? Let's get to Kamar. He has a hand up. Oh, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead. Stand up.
Started trading stuff like powder, eggs, and milk for better business store.
Thank you, sir. Part of history is storytelling. And so if you're a good historian, you're a good what? You're a good storyteller. Like a griot. Like what we call a griot is called a what? Call a what? A jolly. You understand that? It's a story and storyteller. So we know the story is that this woman owned a store. Everybody say Grandma Henderson. And she is Maya Angelou's grandmother. And she owned a store. The only store in the black area of a city called Stamps in Arkansas. You don't need to repeat that. You understand that? Yes? And so folks would come to her store and buy things. What would they buy? They'd buy flour,